Hey there, coaches. How are you doing? It is Sanae Floyd here, business breakthrough coach and sales mentor. And I am really excited to talk to you today because I decided that today I wanted to share with you my most powerful mindset practice, the one thing that I think has been so transformative for me, for my life, for my energy, emotionally, energetically, did I say that? Mentally, for my business. So this is the most powerful mindset hack. Or should I say mindset practice, not mindset hack, mindset practice that I have really discovered or kind of embraced, I would say, more than I didn't discover it. I just started doing it, and I realized this is profound. So, we know as coaches working in this field of personal growth, we have to be committed to our own personal development, right? We have to do the work on ourselves to ensure that we're constantly improving, expanding our awareness, deepening our levels of self-belief, self-love, self-compassion. We have to do this work to raise our energy, expand our consciousness, raise our consciousness. And knowing that in doing all of this this work, this mindset work, we will feel happier. We attract, we feel richer in our lives. We attract high-minded people who are kind of on these parallel journeys. So it's, we know for all those reasons of self-improvement that constantly flexing the mindset muscle, constantly doing this work is so important. And what's really important about all of this is that when we do this work for ourselves, we're able to be more effective and do more effective work as coaches, as healers, as leaders. And I remember hearing someone say, you can only take your client as deep as you are willing to go yourself. And that really stuck with me. I really took that on board and took that to heart. And so I'm regularly challenging myself, approaching my own stuff, with curiosity. And whenever I hit like a persistent issue, or I feel like there's something here, then I'll seek help. I'll invest in the right people who can help me dive deep and heal whatever is in the way of me moving forward or going to my next level. So I teach my clients the importance, and I really encourage everyone to practice this daily discipline, like I said, to exercise this muscle called mindset. And, for us as coaches in business, especially if you're doing, well, I don't know, especially, but as coaches in our businesses, you've got to show up every day. You've got to do things that kind of scare you, that don't feel good every day. Much of the time, you've got to act with faith, and that takes training your focus every single day. And you've got to manage your state of being. And you understand that when you're high and happy, you can move mountains, and yet when you're worried, when you're anxious, when you're, in a state of fear, you're hypervigilant, stressed, and that keeps your focus lasered in on what it is that you're afraid of. So you understand that, you understand all of that. When I'm high and happy, I can move mountains. When I'm in a state of worry and anxiety, then I'm stressed out and it doesn't feel good and I can't work effectively. And you also understand that you have complete control over your state. Moment to moment, you can control your state. Although I know it's not always easy when you're kind of in like the weeds, so to speak, and your thoughts are overpowering. I know it's not easy when the thoughts get so noisy that you kind of getting dragged down with them. So I want to share with you my most powerful mindset practice that has helped me move mountains, like internally, energetically, from an emotional standpoint, but also to rapidly help me to really stand in my power, get out my own way, and manifest miracles in my life. And this process is really, really simple. And all you need all you need, two things, is a journal and your dream. So that's what I'm going to start. All you need is your journal and your dream. Now, what I used to do all the time is I've always journaled. Journaling in the past for me was something where I just I wrote every day, you know, what was on my mind. I would write my affirmations, I would write my gratitude, but there was not sort of any kind of focus particularly to my daily journaling, but I've been journaling for years. Also, what I used to do and what I still do is I track. So I used to track activities, get a calendar, or I used to get like white sheets of paper. I still do to certain things, but I would track. So I would create a chart, or I would use a calendar. And whenever I'm committing to a new habit or trying to break a habit, or I'm partaking in a challenge, you know, a 30-day challenge or whatever, then I would track. And so, for example, I quit alcohol for 7 months using this tracking method where I just get a calendar and I would track every day that I don't drink alcohol. And I created a running every morning, going running using this tracking method. And basically it's a very compelling way, because when you start to see those crosses and they start to form a chain, you don't want to break the chain. That suddenly becomes more important than the actual habit you're trying to create or break. But it's just so compelling. And so I've always kind of used this tracking method, or I say always, in the last sort of 5-6 years, used this as a method to, like I said, create something new, break a habit, create a new habit. And as I said, I've always journaled. But in 2018, I did an experiment on myself. I call it the 6 months where I spent my 6 months in a petri dish, basically, because I had a very specific goal that I wanted to accomplish. I'd like hit threshold with this particular topic, and I just thought enough is enough. I can't live like this anymore. And so I set myself a goal. Felt impossible at the time, but when I set myself this goal, what I did was I combined the journaling and the tracking into one practice. And in doing that, what happened was I achieved my goal. It helped me to achieve my goal, but there was so much other like awakenings, and it was like a real spiritual practice, a real open, like expanded awareness practice that really kind of raised my consciousness and just opened my eyes, completely shifted things for me. And that really came from this process of tracking and journaling combined. So, like all good things, when something great is you know, you discover something great, I stopped doing it. Weirdly, I achieved my goal and I was really happy and it was great. And then I stopped doing this tracking and journaling process. Don't know why. But then last year I picked it up again because again, I thought I've got this really big goal. And this is such an important goal to me. It's such a big dream, such a vision. And so I picked up this process because what I wanted to do, when I was thinking about how am I going to do this, what do I need to do in order to start my journey towards this big vision, this big goal? I looked at what I'd done in the past and what really worked the best. And I came back to this 2018 process where I tracked and journaled at the same time. So I thought that was so pivotal for me accomplishing that impossible goal at the time. And I did it. So naturally, I thought, right, that's what I'm going to go back to. So last year, I picked this process up, and I cannot tell you again how life transformative this process is, how it is just up leveling me, creating so many breakthroughs and shifts. And in response, my external reality is shifting as a result. So let me cut to the quick now. Given enough build up. So it's so simple. It is so simple, but it is a daily practice. It's a discipline. It's something you must commit to. And the best way to think about this is, okay, I'm going to test it. I'm going to test it. One of my clients said, I'm playing a game with this. Like, I'm going to do it. I'm playing a game with it. And he's having incredible breakthrough insights, and the results are starting to kind of filter in. So he looked at this as a game. So I would say to you, just play with this, and and see what happens. Like, give yourself 30 days of just doing this daily and see what happens, and then you won't want to stop. So the simple practice is every day in your journal, every day, I'll share what I do. Every day I write out the dream. I write out, and this is the biggest, most outrageous version of my next level life. I write it out in present tense. You all know this about goals, right? Got to talk about it in the present tense. But I write it out. I create this narrative for myself, all in present tense, and I include like what I'm doing, who I'm being, very important, who I'm being, how I feel, what it looks like, you know, and really kind of go into it. But I do this every single day. So that's step number one. Every day, write out the dream in present tense and all the details. Step number two is track the days. So by this simply, I mean day one. Write the dream, write the day one, and then the dream, day two, day three, day four, and so on. Why is this important for me? Well, my brain has a funny habit of thinking that I've been doing something forever already. And so when it's not happening or nothing seems to be happening, I get disheartened and then I risk quitting. So when I track the days and I'm looking in my journal, when I realize, oh, God's sakes, tonight it's been like 13 days. I kind of laugh at myself because that gives me my perspective. And so I can realize, oh my God. But what it also does is I realize that, wow, I've had my first like major breakthrough shift and it's only been 14 days, for example. So it enables me to retain perspective, but also to realize, wow, things are really happening and it's only been so many days or so many weeks. So track the days, really important. So the third important part of this process is observe what is happening daily and note down any unusual or new thoughts and ideas and inspirations. Because as I'm focusing on what I want every day, that's what I'm imbuing into my subconscious. That's what I'm really training myself to focus on, and I'm feeling it every day. So what I'm going to start attracting is new ideas, new inspirations, new ways of thinking, new conversations, new resources coming in. So positive things. Note all the positive that starts to show up, because they will. Okay. And you might think, well, this is no different from what I normally do. Great. Then keep doing it. But be uber vigilant of all the good stuff, all the specs and signs that you're on your way. Write it all down. This is important. The fourth piece to this, and this is absolutely, this is going to really shift things quickly for you, as it did for me and as it does for my clients. I'm not just talking my experience. This is for my clients as well. Welcome. The minute you do, so as you're focusing on your big vision and your big goal, what you want to do as well is you want to welcome with open arms the next level of limiting beliefs and experiences that trigger you. And by trigger, I mean that they create that charge, whether that's fear, whether that's extreme irritation, or whether that's anger. Welcome it and view them as a gift. Grab them and write them in your journal on the day that they happened. Why is this important? Well, because when we are focusing on the vision, we need to energetically, mentally, emotionally, we need to grow to become the next level person who is having that experience. So we need to expand our consciousness and shed any other like shitty layers of limiting beliefs that block us from being that next level person, because we have a current paradigm, a set point that we're currently living in. So in order to achieve that outcome, we've got to break through that paradigm. Well, in breaking through that paradigm, you've got to let some stuff go. You've got to release some barriers, some limiting beliefs about yourself. You've got to expand your awareness and perception and your self-identity. So as you're going through this process, you're going to hit, it's like just hitting the edges of your paradigm. And in order to become that next level person, you've got to push, not only hit up against them, and normally we'll hit up against them and go, ooh, and recoil and come back to comfortable. You've got to move through them. So in order to do that, you've got to notice what comes up, limiting beliefs wise, experience wise, capture it, write it down, and then notice it for what it is. And almost like what I always say is to look at it from the perspective of observer. Don't get involved and identify with it, but watch it as an observer and kind of dissect what it means. And what I always think about is when you're focusing on this great grand vision for yourself, it's like you've put a big hand inside yourself and you're swirling around all the silt, and all that silt is going to be like rising up to the surface. And within all of that silt are those fears, are those deep limiting beliefs about yourself that have been dormant because nothing's kind of kicked them up. And this is why I always talk about, when you raise your rates, it's almost like it's good to raise your rates. It's good to set yourself a big money goal that scares you, because in scaring you, it's bringing up all the crap that's currently dormant. But it can only rise to the surface when you give it a good shake up by focusing on that next level vision, that big goal. So whenever this stuff comes up, and it has to, in order for you to break through it, welcome it, but get it tracked, write it down in your journal, observe it, dissect it, see it for what it is. Just go, oh, wow, this is what's in here. I didn't realize that until I set myself this big goal. I didn't know that was there. And that's okay. I'm going to welcome it. And I'm going to do the work to clear it. And whatever that work is, whether you just, you let it go, you meditate on it, you do, your mindset work, the stuff you teach your clients to help them shift their mindset, but do that work for yourself. And as always, if you need help, then reach out. This is what I do with my clients, help them to get to where they want to be through the smoothest, shortest, fastest route possible, but also holding steady as those limiting beliefs come up. They're going to scare you. They're going to make you feel bad. But it's knowing that this is what I call constructive discomfort. It's constructive because you're building a new level paradigm for yourself. So you're constructing, but it's not comfortable, and I'm always kind of going through that phase for myself, because I'm committed to growing, and I know you are too. Okay, guys, so I hope you found this helpful. This is the most powerful mindset practice that I've ever really kind of committed to and really found for myself. And I just think it's so powerful on every level, and it will grow you faster than most things that you're doing for yourself, on a daily basis. Okay, guys, so I hope you found this helpful. As always, if you've got comments, questions, put them below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will speak to you all again soon. Okay, bye for now.